Tonight, you will get a rare look at what it's like to be homeless from a person who's actually lived it.
The former homeless crack addict you're about to meet agreed to share her experience with News Channel 15's Tara Brantley. In this exclusive report, we give you a window into the world of living on the streets.
Drugs any way I could.
So this is your stomping ground?
This is my stomping ground. These are my stomping grounds. Pontiac Street, all in this area. I walk this area 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the mornings.
And just going from crack house to crack house?
Crack house to crack house.
Looking at former drug houses that are now boarded up, 50-year-old Anita Waller recalls what it was like when she was 25, addicted to crack cocaine and homeless.
It was terrible. It was terrible, but I was so consumed with doing drugs that, I just thought it was okay.
Anita started down this path after the death of her mother.
And I was already using drugs, and then when she passed, we no longer had any place to stay. So I stayed with relatives here and there out on the streets.
How did you get the drugs? I mean, did you have a job?
No, didn't have a job. I had one child at the time, received TANF and food stamps, so I used those items to purchase drugs and sold my body, did whatever was necessary.
In between staying with relatives and friends, Anita had another son. Soon after, she was jailed for possession of crack cocaine. After spending 98 days locked up, Anita went back to living with friends and relatives and quickly picked up right where she had left off, doing anything to get high. Then came the breaking point that would forever change her life.
I was in this neighborhood using drugs, my drug of choice, which was crack cocaine. And I was pregnant, 9 months pregnant, and I felt, the pressure of the baby, being ready to come out, what they call labor, and I was like, well, I'm gonna wait, I'm just gonna wait, because I was so consumed in, continuing to use. And then finally, I went to the bathroom and felt her head, and then when I stepped up and pivoted around, she came out. She was delivered right there in the bathroom.
On the floor?
On the floor. The umbilical cord split and everything.
So Anita, what was going through your mind? You're giving birth on a bathroom floor.
I just didn't think it was going to happen that fast.
A friend took her and the baby to a hospital.
And we both tested positive for cocaine. And at that time, a woman from the Child Protective Services came into my room at the hospital. That's when my children were removed from me, and I went to a program called Addicted Women's and Children's Program, AWAC.
Tomorrow night at 6, Tara will tell us how Anita turned her life around by seeking help at a local shelter and eventually regaining custody of her children. And this special report is tied to an event this weekend that helps the homeless. The Homeward Bound Walk is Sunday at Headwaters Park. For details on that, go to the community page of WANE.com.
Still to come here on News Channel 15 at 6. What's better than a leisurely Friday at school? How about seeing your dad for the first time in almost a year?
Thank you very much, Jesse. Well, imagine you're 25, addicted to crack cocaine and homeless. Tonight, a Fort Wayne woman who was in that exact situation tells how she changed her life. She spoke exclusively with News Channel 15's Tara Brantley in part 2 of a special report, Living on the Streets.
Yes, I walked down through these alleys.
Former homeless crack addict Anita Waller spent 6 years living on the streets and staying with friends and relatives.
I didn't have a place to call home. I just was here and there.
Did you ever fear for your life?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Right now people are shouting at us.
No.
Did you deal with that all the time when you were living on the streets?
No, not really, no.
Okay.
No, because I was never, in front of other people's houses. I was always hiding or secluded in alleys and things like that.
After having her third child born on the bathroom floor of a friend's house, Anita and her newborn were taken to a hospital.
And we both tested positive for cocaine. And at that time, a woman from the Child Protective Services came into my room at the hospital and told me that they were removing my other children. And that there was a program that I could go to, which was called AWAC, Addicted Women and Children's Program. That was a 90-day program. I completed that successfully, and then my after-treatment plan goal was to go to a halfway house.
That halfway house was Genesis, a shelter located in the heart of the neighborhood where she grew up, near Pontiac and Gay Streets.
Typically, we serve about 300 people per year.
This is where
The women quarters were.
Anita lived at the Genesis house with both men and women from all walks of life.
Bunk bed here, and bunk bed here.
So this place is where your life began?
Began. Exactly. Again.
They received help getting their lives back on track.
We believe that in life, we all have points and times when we come and need a new Genesis. We need a new beginning. And so that's what we really focus upon, and the biblical connection is there with reason.
It took Anita 15 months of living here at the Genesis house to start rebuilding what 6 years of homelessness had destroyed. She landed a job, stayed clean, and eventually regained custody of her children. Then tragedy struck.
My daughter, she passed.
What happened?
She died. She was 22 months old. She died from complications in the burn unit at St. Joe Hospital.
Still, Anita persevered so she and her 2 surviving children could have a better life. That was almost 20 years ago. Anita now works in human services, continuing on the path that Genesis started.
It's turned my life completely around.
And you're going to be a college graduate soon?
Yes, ma'am. I graduate. I walk May 18th with my bachelor's in human services.
After next month's graduation from Indiana Tech, Anita will look forward to another milestone, 20 years drug-free in August. Her plan, open a shelter to help others bloom in adversity.
Excited because it's like, you know, I'm kind of the few of the children that have completed high school and going to college.
Genesis is one of 10 agencies that help the homeless and will benefit from an event this weekend. The annual Homeward Bound Walk will take place Sunday at Headwaters Park. Registration starts at noon. The walk starts at 2 p.m. You can sign up for free and then go get pledges to support your trek through the 2.5-mile loop. News Channel 15 is a proud sponsor of this event, and our very own Tara Brantley will be the Grand Marshal. For more details on the walk, click on the community page of WANE.com. You can also hear Anita Waller's story by going to our homepage. Coming up, a local organization hosted a walk for babies this afternoon. Plus, people were learning about nature at Cedar Canyon Elementary School. Those stories and more when your #1 Weekend News continues.